Alright, we got all our pawns on dark squares. They will never ever be taken. Yeah, okay. I feel like I can just take this draw at this point. I just had no time. Yeah, I just go here and here, right? I didn't. Yeah, my bishop had no targets. I mean, like, if I could have gone underneath somehow, then there would be some targets. This is... You know, we're really quite gridlocked here, aren't we? Oh, wait, are they? I feel like they had an opportunity to get through a second ago. Wait. They had it, though. King b5, king b7, and then a4. And then I was in Zugzwang. I think they had it. Now there's nothing. Okay, now it's literal gridlock. And they were just running low on time. We draw. And the arena clock had already ended. Um... Okay, what happened in the arena? Oh! Let's go! I won, I guess, on tie breaks? What is the tie break on Lichess? I guess it's win percentage. And according to this, I'd won all my games. So, yay, we won. Here are my stats. Thank you, thank you. Oh, I love that emoji. Appreciate y'all. My performance is only 2436. Although my win rate was 100. I'm not sure how that's calculated if your win rate's 100. But, okay, you can see some ones. Yeah, so in that last game, we had both messed up here. A3 was a blunder. Oh, I could win. This is very, so, okay. This is actually very, very instructional position because my opponent plays king f4, I play h5. We're fully gridlocked on the whole board. The only part where there's action is this very edge, right? Very edge. Like, the king's got to get all the way to a4 and, like, needs to infiltrate all the way here. Or, like, a3, b4, but, like, mainly you need to infiltrate, right? So it looks like, okay, whatever, it's done. There's only one way through. Leave your king there. Don't stop the one way through. However, when you really start to look at it, a6 is the only square I have that stops b5. And if that's the only square you have, you can't keep that square, right? Like, the king can get to a4, king can get to a6, and it can be your turn. Like, my opponent just plays a3 in that position. Then, like, I need to play king a7, king b7, king here. So now our kings are, like, here and here, right? And, okay, I need to stop c6. And then they just play, like, a4. So then, okay, you need to stop c6, king comes to c7, king comes to a6. And then this is your only square, again, to guard b6. And so you're fresh out of squares. So this is actually, like when I just played a5 here absentmindedly, I really kind of stretched myself thin. So black here has to be very, very careful, which I was not. In this position, so I think the thing is I'm actually one move in time. If I wasn't in time, like if my king's on h7, I think I'm losing. In this position, like let's say I play king g8. All of a sudden I lose. King g8 just burns one move and getting over. So king d3, king over, king over, king over, king over. Right, I don't get to a6, and in this position I lose. In this position I lose, because I need to guard, like I was saying, and or that's not even necessary, king a6, and I'm just going to run out of moves. My opponent could always burn a couple with a3 and a4. But okay, so this is still drawn, according to the engine, because I get here in time. And so my opponent should play, according to the engine, just king a3. After which, oh, looks like my opponent, after b5, it looks like they might be under more siege. But in the game anyway, my opponent plays pawn a3, which looks like it makes a lot of sense, because it burns a move, and seems to indicate, okay, king drops back, and then the king gets the b5 square. I also could prepare b4. However, I missed a very, very good move in this position, which is b5 check. Sacrificing the pawn, and here, critically, I think if it was black's move, black would lose, because king moves and then takes, obviously. But it's white's move, and white only has one legal move, which is this move b4. Takes, takes, and now, very critically, because we're down a pawn, like here, if you trade, you're down a pawn, you'll lose. But c4. And then again, if it's black's turn, I think black could lose. Because see, if it's black's turn, like they gotta push this pawn and king b3, take this one, they take this one, right? But it's white's turn, and they only have one legal move. It's king a3 takes, and again, it's white's turn. They have to go here or here, and now black is the one with the extra pawn. In a wild turn of events, b5 check, and forcing Zugzwang on white's turn. But I missed that in this time scramble that I got lazy in. I played king a7 back, thinking that, and okay, my opponent blunders right back with this move b4. That's the one blunder I actually caught during the game. King b5, king b7, and now here I think just a4, just burn a move, and black loses the opposition. If king a7, king c6, and if king c7, king a6, in which case I don't have this square, because white has more space here, critically, and b6 would be fine. So would a7, a6 have been better than a7, a5? Yes. I think definitely would have been better. Like we imagine this position, but just like with the pawn here, I just don't have issues anymore. Right? Like I was just like, oh, I don't want to deal with like b4 happening. But like, okay, I can deal with b4 happening. I have a king the same way they have a king. But me having the pawn on a5 is what gives this path that makes this position risky for black. If my pawn's on a6, there is no path. Aaron Gall, thank you for the subscription. All right, so I think that was a really, really interesting king and pawn ending where we were just trading blunders. And so in the game, what ends up happening is, so they play this move b4. So I play king a7 blundering. They don't go king b5. They play b4. So they played a3 to prepare b4. B4, like, we both think it's a big deal. It's not a big deal. Like, it's just like proposing a pawn trade. You know, like you got to get your king in. You got to start winning pawns, not trading pawns. Anyway, so I take here and then step back to a6. So this position is again drawn because I'm able to step back to a6. I have opposition now, and my opponent now just plays b5 check, and we move around with our kings. They lock it down for real this time. So, wow, wild, wild twists in this one. Subscribe if that part goes on YouTube. All right, well.